I'm outside Hong Lim Park today, where the climate change rally is taking place in Singapore. So what is all of this about? Well, a 16-year-old Greta Thunberg from Sweden is being the voice for this cause. All across the world on the 20th and the 27th of September, people are coming out to rally for climate change. And the reason it is being done right now is because this very month, the United Nations is going to have a climate change conference, a summit with all the global leaders showing up. And this is our way of making sure our voices and the planet's voice is being heard. So how is climate change affecting us currently?
Right now, we are experiencing more floods, more hurricanes, the weather is more hot, and it can be really unpredictable at times.
Who are the animal allies?
So Animal Allies is an initiative by the Center of Responsible Future. We help provide resources to people who are trying to live more compassionate, healthy and sustainable lives in Singapore. So one aspect of tackling climate change, I believe, is through our diet, and that's what Animal Allies helps make people make the connection between diet and climate change, apart from just health and animal welfare reasons.
Oh, that's wonderful. And that's what you're holding up here, aren't you?
Yeah, less meat, less heat. So this is a slogan that I learned about from Greenpeace. So, eating meat is related to climate change because meat, in the production of meat, there's a lot of greenhouse gases produced, especially methane from cows.
So how does eating meat contribute to deforestation?
Okay, I first came into this issue when reading the book by John Robbins' Diet for New America, when he pointed out that actually trees has to be cut down to make way for the land to actually grow food for the animal agriculture, and this attribute to climate change issue. Yeah.
So how does dairy contribute to climate change? It's not meat.
Okay, so because dairy actually consumes a lot of water to produce for the food that the cows feed on, so it takes a lot of resources, especially to produce milk and cheese and butter and other dairy products. So today I brought some vegan cookies to let people try vegan, non-dairy alternatives, and it can actually taste as good and there's less environmental impact.
So is it easy to eat more of a plant-based diet?
Of course, definitely. There's a lot of misconception that eating more plant-based food is very hard to find. But especially now that there's a demand for it, there's more people selling it. And of course, you can use a lot of apps like A Billion Veg and Happy Cow, which I personally use even overseas. And of course, even if you don't see one on the menu, just go up to the chef and ask. Asking is for free.
Yeah, I think it's easy and getting even easier. Because just in the last year in Singapore, we got the Beyond Meat, we got the Impossible Burger, we got the Omni Meat, Sophie's Kitchen, which is plant-based fishes. We've got corn, so many different kinds of corn. And they have the vegetarian, but they also have the vegan range. And the vegan range, it's written very clearly in big letters, vegan, so you know. And some people say that it's expensive to eat vegan, but it doesn't have to be. Just go to NTUC, tempeh, tofu, so inexpensive, much cheaper than meat. Or beans, you can get a can of vegetarian beans, $1.50. And then, of course, we need the veggies, right? They don't call it vegetarian for nothing. We need the vegetables. And Singapore is a paradise for all the different kinds of fruits.
That's so true.
Yeah, and also all the veggies, the fresh veggies, and it's nice to try new things. And because if you think about it, there's so many cuisines that are so easy to make vegan, Mexican. And then what about the Thai food? So yeah, I've been a vegetarian since 1980.
Wow.
When I started, it wasn't easy, but so now there's just so much more. It seems so easy.
That's so true.
Yeah. And when I transitioned to vegan, maybe 10 plus years ago, at first, it wasn't easy to give up cheese. It wasn't easy to give up yogurt.
That's most of us.
Yeah. Or like the Teh Tarik with the milk in it. But now I really don't even like cheese. Now they have vegan cheese. I seldom get it because it's oily and salty to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So please give it a try. And last thing I want to say is you don't have to do it 100%. Every little bit helps.
Besides diet change, what else can we do to reverse climate change?
I think what we're looking at is quite dire, quite serious. It's not a very happy situation.
Yeah.
And as an activist, as an advocate, there's a very high chance that you're under a lot of stress, So for me, I'm coming from a sports background. I teach yoga as well.
Oh, wow.
I think just being optimistic alone, just to keep yourself happy, I call it community immunity.
Oh, I like that.
So the whole idea is if you are healthy, it's not enough, because when there is a virus, when there's an ailment that's ailing the community, you'll be the last one to hit. But if everyone collectively is healthy and strong,
Yeah.
we can withstand the onslaught of this kind of calamities.
Could consume less food, but also just normal stuff that we buy, because there's a lot of overconsumption right now. And furthermore, we should also try to reuse a maximum of what we have instead of always buying more.
I think one thing we can do is send emails to companies that use unnecessary plastic packaging. And especially because if you really like that company and you don't want to boycott, that's another alternative you can do.
You can support local businesses and social enterprises such as Unpacked Singapore, Singapore's first zero-waste store.
And get your own bamboo toothbrush.
You can phase out fossil fuels and move towards more renewable energies.
Rewild the planet.
You can vote wisely, so support political parties that have proper climate change policies that are going to drive effective changes.
You can listen to people who know what they're talking about and basically do what they say.
So if we don't take care of this now, how is climate change going to affect us in the future?
I think the phrase "in the future" is already a bit of a stretch, because we already see so many effects today, right? Even the simple things like the weather being super hot. And in the past, we used to be able to actually stay outside, but now everyone is just flogging into shopping malls for the aircon and libraries and all that. And I think the temperature being hot is just the beginning of everything. Things like rising sea levels, even though we might not feel it because we're in Singapore and we're super sheltered and everything's gonna be fine because we built like walls for the seas, but there are so many countries out there who don't have the same resources that we do. And I think it's unfortunate that they have to bear the consequences of having their land just being swallowed by the sea while we do all this.
Yeah.
And it's really just the beginning. There's so many things that are going to change, like Singapore's food supply, the prices of things, because our commodities are getting lesser and lesser. So it's really such a scary thing to think about. And I think it's definitely a crisis that we should all work towards trying to do something about.
I'm here today because I think the government should do more. Our future depends on it.
According to the UN, we are experiencing mass extinction, the biggest yet since 65 million years. Look at what we're doing to the planet. And therefore, it is predicted by 2030, if we don't take the steps required and limit the changes in our climate, it will have extreme effects on all of us. In fact, to the extent that by 2045, our oceans could be fishless.
Global warming is real. Global warming is real.
Global warming is real.
Global warming is real.
Global warming is real.
Global warming is real, and it's about time we did our bit for ourselves and the coming generations. Let's all do this. I'm done for today, but I'm not done protecting the planet. See you guys soon. Bye!